Hello my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well guys, this is out of RT. We have some other sources too. And as it states, a dark day for internet freedom. EU lawmakers approve controversial copyright reform. And so the European Parliament has voted to adopt the highly controversial Article 13 provision, which would govern the production and distribution of content online under the auspices of increasing copyright protections. Tuesday's move will update the EU's 20-year-old copyright rules and will govern audiovisual content, much to the dismay of many social media users who have already begun outpouring their grief online. However, the Parliament said in a statement that sharing memes and GIFs have been protected even more than it was before, and they will continue to be available and shareable on online platforms. MEPs passed legislation by 348 votes to 274 Tuesday. Opponents had hoped for last-minute amendments to be made, but their efforts were in vain. As you see some comments there. And so Julia Rita, a German MEP with the Pirate Party, described it as a dark day for internet freedom. Article 13, or the Directive on Copyright in the Digital Single Market, makes all platforms legally responsible for the content hosted and shared on their platforms. The process of updating the bloc's copyright laws began in the European Commission 2 years ago, ostensibly to protect Europe's publishers, broadcasters, and artists, and guarantee fair compensation from big tech companies. The onus will be now on tech companies to clamp down on content sharing on their platforms, which will likely ensure yet more draconian policing of free speech and content. EU member states now have 2 years to pass their own laws, putting Article 13 into effect. Tens of thousands marched in protest across Germany ahead of the vote, decrying what they viewed as severe online censorship. Tech giant Google said that while the directive is improved, it will still lead to legal uncertainty and will damage Europe's creative and digital economies. Critics have argued that the only way for Article 13 to be effectively enforced would be through the use of upload filters, which automatically check content to see if it's copyrighted or not. At least in theory, however, the exact mechanics of such a system has yet to be fully debated, and the potential for abuse is immediately clear. And so, yeah, it's disconcerting, but it's the way things are going. It's just the way things are. And so, you know, share with you guys, like last night I had another one of my dreams, of which most of my nightmares are about going back to my old jobs that I used to do. Back when I used to just, hate what I was doing, honestly, and spent decades of my life doing things that were not uplifting in spirit or anything that had any part of my bigger picture for being in the world at this time. And for so many of us, it really is a trap, and we feel trapped, but we have no choice because we're in the system. We have to go to work, we have bills to pay and all the above. And this is the system we're born into. And it's hard for so many people to imagine a system that wasn't like this. And so as we lose all our rights rapidly, which we could see, they're just disappearing in front of us, one after another, very quickly, in rapid succession right now. It just feels like there's this clamping down. The vice is being clamped down tight. Did you ever use a vise and you wanted to get it stronger, so you attached this big long pole to the end of it to get even more leverage and torque? Well, it feels like we're being leveraged to death, and it's coming so quickly. That's the part that's so disconcerting. And here in the US, our First Amendment rights feel like they're totally just disintegrating. And it's a global phenomenon. If we look at China and Russia, in China you have a dictator for life, so you better not speak up, because they have those re-education camps over there, just like the Nazis did. And millions of people are in those re-education camps right now, and they're learning how to improve their citizenship scores, as they all have these citizenship scores now, these social scores. It's really a very, very sad state that we find ourselves in this world right now. And very, very disconcerting, to say the least, as all these things that we took for granted for so long are just dissolving and going away. As the Orwellian society, the 1984 society, seems to be coming into full bloom right now. And this is just one more thing about that. It's just one more case. And this one over here, Article 13 copyright law passed in European Parliament. And so the thought is right now that you're going to have a lot of creators looking to pack up and jump now into a different country, perhaps, different part of the world. So you can have a little bit of free speech, but the free speech is just disappearing everywhere across the globe. It's a global thing. It really, really is. And this is from YouTube creators. Update: the European Parliament has now voted on the EU Copyright Directive. Thanks to all the creators who spoke up about how Article 13 will impact them and their communities. And here's our statement on today's vote. And, it's going to affect everything. And I forget who it was, like a year ago, I was watching, talking about this. And basically the way we do things, and YouTube channels like this one, and this is going to go up on Evolutionary Energy Arts too, because number one is already suffering from these copyright infringements. And you don't even know what it is, a lot of the time when you get hit with these things. So eventually everybody is going to simply be not showing you anything when you get down to it. And we're all just going to be talking heads. So you're going to get to either look at our faces or something that's totally generic as we talk. But then at the same time, there's a lot of words that we just feel like we can't say anymore, or else you're going to get demonetized. And so being that this is a separate channel, this is not monetized yet, so at least I have a little bit more freedom of speech at the moment, because these videos are not paying anything. And hence part probably of my dream of being back at work doing something I hate instead of something that I'm passionate about and I love. And so as I was sharing with you, that's the nightmare I have often. And then today when I woke up and found another copyright strike, it was like, oh, okay, well, that's why I dreamed that. So it's just a matter of we keep trudging ahead, and hopefully we get enough people to get on number 2, Evolutionary Energy Arts number 2, and we start looking for alternative sources as well, start exploring that as well going forward, as I have done that in the past, as so many have done. Like I was shocked about a year ago when BP Earthwatch was all of a sudden gone, but he's back as Earthwatch now, and it's happened to many others as well. So we just have to keep fighting as long as we can fight, but we are feeling the pressure big time, my friends. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like, share, subscribe, and comment while we are able to. Share your thoughts. God bless, my friends. Stay safe, and namaste.